Welcome, ladies. I'm so excited for those who are going to join us now and for those who are going to watch later. So excited to talk to you today about all things purpose. Why? Because I keep getting lots and lots of women talking to me about, I don't know what my purpose is. I want to try to figure it out. I've tried to figure it out and I don't know if I've got it right. And I've got it right. I've got it figured out. What do I do now? In fact, I just got an email this morning that I was rereading this morning. It was yesterday, actually. She sent it and she said, okay, I did your 5-day Find Your Purpose challenge and I defined my purpose. What now? So there's all these different stages of figuring out what is our purpose? What are we to do? Hi, Taryn. Nice to have you here. What are we to do? And then once we do figure that out, like what do we do with it? And I don't know about you, but especially as women, wives, mothers, aunts, sisters, community workers, business owners, blah, 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 all of these different roles, all these different hats that we wear, it's not an A plus B equals C. It's more like a quadratic equation. It's more like, to the root of over to the nth degree, right? Because it's more like that, where we have so many things that are pulling at us every day and good things, so many good things, that it can be hard to get to the best things, to know what's the most essential, what's the thing that matters most to you and your family in your situation, and what does that look like? And especially when we have many months before us that are fresh and new, what should we put our energy toward? We only have a limited amount of time, energy, money, resources. I call it teamer. We only have a limited amount of that, really. And yes, we can call on heavenly powers to have more and be expanded and magnified. But the reality is, in our hands and legs of doing, we have to be wise and portion out what we're going to put our time and energy to. And that is making wise choices. That is being able to say, I know in my mind, heart, and soul, this is where I'm supposed to put my time and energy this year, what I'm supposed to do these 3 months, this 6 months, this whatever period of time that you want to focus on. So that's what I want to open up to you, ladies. This is really a Q&A. It's all about what are the questions that you have about purpose, what questions you have about fulfilling it, what questions you have about trying to go through that process and know, did I hit it right? Am I following the right path for me? Now, I'm not going to be able to look in a crystal ball and go, yes, that's for you. But I can give you indications and from patterns, predictability of things you might be feeling, things that might come into your path, and ways that you can use tools to just kind of combat that or move it forward or do it in a way that's going to work for you. So this is your time to be able to ask your questions. If you're not sure how to do that, go down to the little bar at the bottom, and there looks like a little cartoon bubble, and it says chat. Has 3 little dots and it says chat. Click on chat and you can type it, and it says to everyone and then says type message here. You just type out your thoughts and you can totally do it that way. If you want to unmute, just go all the way to the left and you see the speaker that says mute or a line through it that is unmute. And so you can click on that so that you can be able to speak. So if you want to share it by verbally or if you want to share it by typing it, it's totally up to you. So what questions do you have for me, Rebecca and Taryn? You get me for a few minutes of being able to ask your in-depth personal questions. All right, here's some questions that I've gotten before. If there are some things that you have been able to do in your life that you feel like, oh my gosh, my friend was just talking to me the other day and she was saying blah, 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 then go ahead and ask them for her as well. I'm asking for a friend, right? One question that I had, and this Q. Ellie Boyd, let me make sure I get the question right because I wrote it down on my little sticky note. She said, okay, I've done your 5-day purpose challenge. It was great. What do I do now with my purpose? So how does she go about fulfilling it? One of the things that I would totally encourage you to do is once you do know what your purpose is, then start segmenting down to what I call chewable chunks. Chewable chunks for you to be able to take it one baby step at a time. If you watch What About Bob, it's going to overwhelm you to try to go, oh, I want to run a marathon, or I want to clean and organize my entire house, or I want to become a photographer. You're going to get completely overwhelmed. And then within a week, even a few days, you're going to be like, there's no way, I can't do this. There's too much that's required. Sometimes it's really good to not take that big picture view because you'll be completely overwhelmed. You want to take that snapshot of that big picture and then break it down into those chewable chunks. Okay, well, what's one of the first few steps that would help me to be able to accomplish or become what I want to accomplish or do or become? So, for example, when I was thinking about, I just wrote a book, a fiction book, Loving Like Jane. That was 7 years in the making. if I would have thought at the very beginning, this is going to take me 7 years to write, and then it's going to take all kinds of things for it in order for it to be published, I would never have even touched that, right? So what I'm suggesting to you is if you take these chewable chunks and say, I know what it is I want to do, and I know what my purpose is, but I don't know how to achieve it, then start with those simple steps. I started with steps of, I'm going to a writer's conference, and I'm going to take a class on how to do better fictional writing. And then in my writing process, I said, okay, I'm going to take what I wrote and I'm going to make it into a final rough. And then I'm going to break it down into chapters. And I'm going to take each chapter and I'm going to add in the details of Jane Austen. And then I'm going to make sure I've got my romance thread that's weaving through it. And I'm going to make sure I have my travel notes that are weaving through it. Does that make sense? I took it one little chewable chunk at a time so that by the end, I had a finished book. And it ended up getting an award, which is so exciting. So that's what I'm talking about, taking those chewable chunks and throw down what you're like, well, if I want to achieve this, these are what looks like reasonable steps for me to take. And then I'm just going to start with the most reasonable one or the most exciting one or the one that I feel more empowered and more motivated to do. Sometimes it's called the broccoli first principle. That's what I call it. Sometimes when we're doing something, if you've been raised like I was, which is you have to eat your vegetables. So I would hurry and eat my vegetables first, because then I could just relax and enjoy the meal, okay? And sometimes we end up doing that, but it shoots ourselves in the foot, because when we're at a place where we need some motivation, starting with broccoli is not a helpful thing unless you adore broccoli, right? So start with dessert first, start with the thing. I call it start where you're having success. Start where you're having success. Get some traction, and then you can handle the hard stuff. So start with some easy things that would be easy for you to do. Make a phone call, look online for information. I just had a feeling thought a few months ago, scary, out of the blue, applied to the executive MBA program at a college. I'm like, what? But I could tell this was something I needed to do. So I did not look at the long haul. I did not focus on, I'm going to have to take statistics. I'm going to have to take the GMAT. I did not focus on those things at all, because what would I be doing? I would be sucking my thumb under my desk. I would be rocking in a fetal position. No way. So I started with dessert first. I started with what I knew, and I connected with people, and I got in contact with the head of recruitment, who told me the steps I needed to take, who gave me the ideas of what I could do for a GMAT waiver, who gave me the people I needed to talk to. That made all the other steps easier. So start with dessert first, okay? Start with that in that sense of, if you're knowing what you want to do, but you're just frustrated or scared, or you don't know what to do, you start with where you're having success and then move forward on those little tiny steps that will help you start getting success. What we're looking for, if you read a lot of self-development books, you're looking for evidence of success. Darren Hardy talks about it. A lot of the big names will talk about it. Look for that evidence, create that evidence of success. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about that. To create your new neural pathways, you've got to create these evidences. So every time you take a class, you do a program, you say a purpose statement, you define that purpose statement. Every time you do that, you're telling your subconscious, guess what, people? It's the new norm. This is what we're doing. This is how we roll. So even though you're going to have some things that are going to fight against that, oh no, I'm too scared. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid it's going to blow up in my face. I'm afraid I won't know what to do. I don't know where to start. When you have those things that start to come in, you've already got some of these stakes in your tent. You've already got some of these evidences that say, oh, no, we don't have to be afraid, because she already made those phone calls and she already did those things and we're still here. And so it's okay. Does that make sense? So you want to create those evidences. So whatever those are, and I will give you a tip. The bigger the evidence that you create, the bigger the shift you'll make. I have noticed this. I've even done this myself. I've done smaller things. I've done like maybe a download, or done a class, or done a little program, or I've done like a little book or something like that. And that's all been super helpful, because it opens those neural pathways and it starts making those cementing of those evidences, and it releases that paralysis, that emotional paralysis that happens when we want to create a change. If you felt that before, you want to do it, you're all excited, but you're like, Indiana Jones, take that first step. You're like, So we've all felt that. That's that life shift paralysis that we can experience. And in order to get through that, you keep making these promises to yourself, or taking these baby steps, and then you can make bigger ones and bigger ones. Some people just like to eat the whole thing first, right? They just want to jump in and let's do this cold turkey. Just give me the whole thing. I want to binge watch it. I want to do it. I want to do something big, right? And that's some people's personality. And it's wonderful. You know your personality, so work with it. I've seen all things. I've seen people who, they've come to me and said, I have been following you for 15 years. They've done my downloads. They've been on following me on Facebook. They've done all these different things. And then finally, the time is right. The time is right for them to actually make a bigger decision. So that's beautiful. But does that negate any of those baby steps? Not at all. Those little baby steps are all coins in the change bank account. And it's saying, I can do it. It's going to be okay. I can shift my environment. I can shift my way of doing things. I can shift my life lens, and it's okay. And your primeval kind of, cortex kind of goes, okay, we can all settle down, people, because she's done these baby steps and we're surviving and it's okay. So if you're a baby stepper, identify that. And that might be the ones that have done the 5-day purpose challenge. I know that Ellie has done that. That's on here. The 5-day purpose challenge is fantastic. It's free. You totally do that. Lamira can put the link in the chat thing. If you haven't done it yet, feel free to do it. It's a little mini course. I have 5 videos, or like 5-6 minutes, maybe 8 minutes long. I take you through a little mini workbook of each page a day. You can binge watch it in just like 45 minutes, whatever. So you could choose how you want to do it, but that helps you define that purpose. And that will give you some additional tips on how to do that, the way that's going to work best for you. So those baby steps can be working for you. You don't just do a baby step and then you forget about it, or you had this download and it's got spaghetti sauce and you throw it away. That you actually keep building and getting traction on those baby steps. So I highly encourage you to use that 5-day purpose challenge. It's free and it's wonderful. We have great results with that, of people getting that, opening that door, that change door, and going, oh, I'm not afraid. So that's a great thing to do if you're not sure how to go about doing a change or what to do with it or what's the first step. That is a great way to do it. You can just jump right in, you print off the downloads, and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, if you're at a place where you're like, no, I want to make a bigger shift and I want to do something big, then I would so invite you to kind of brainstorm what that looks like to you. I had a gal last year. She texted me. It was really actually very tender personal experience. Just making sure it's okay. I mean, you don't know who she is and it's okay for me to share it, but I just want to make sure it's a tender thing. So I don't like just throwing it out there. But on a Monday morning, she texted me. She said, well, your name's coming to mind. And my mother has passed away. And I know that her story is amazing and it needs to be written. So I'd like you to write it. And I texted her back, heck no. Because if you're writing about your mother, guess who's going to get the downloads about that story? She did not want to do this. I said, I can teach you how. It's okay. You're going to be okay. You'll survive it. And you'll actually have a really cool experience, I would imagine. And she was like, what? Me write it? I'm going to go pray about it. I'm like, you go pray about that. So then the next day, she texted me and she said, you will not believe what just happened. She said, the reason why I texted you in the first place is because I had a dream about my mother. And then she said, I woke up with the words in my mind, wake up, you have a work to do. Oh, it just gives me goosebumps. And that's why I texted you. And she was trying to pawn it off on me. And then she said, I went to bed that night and I remembered what you said to pray about. So I prayed about it. She said, and then I woke up like an hour and a half later. And she said, I had complete downloads on what was to go in this book. And then she said, a few minutes later, I got a text from my sister who said, I just woke up from a dream, something about mom. She wants a book written. Do you know anything about that? Yes. So what I'm saying is, if you will open up and don't be afraid, if you will open up to the idea of what your purpose is and what you're to do at this stage of your life, I can promise you miracles will happen. We see it all the time. We see it all the time. And all you have to do is be willing to take that Indiana Jones step. I'm not kidding. So yeah, rest of the story. So I connected with her. I taught her. I have a program that teaches you how to be an influential writer, speaker, media personality. So I taught her. I taught her how to do a writing plan. She didn't think she could do it. She didn't know how to do it. Taught her how to do a writing plan. Taught her how to define her audience. Taught her how to do blah, 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 all those steps. And she started writing her story where she thought, I don't know how to do this and I can't do this. Not true. Not true. So I have seen women do amazing things. They've been able to organize their homes. They've been able to lose weight and keep it off. They've been able to define their purpose and then get better, healthier relationships in their family with kids that were straying and that were struggling. I have seen amazing things that we have seen women be helped through their marriage relationships where women thought they were like, there's no hope for this. I'm not a therapist, but there are basic principles that work. And when women opened up to it and said, you know what? Okay, I'm open. I'm going to jump in. Then miracles happen. So what I would encourage you to do, if you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, pay attention, write it down, get a little notebook or thing on notes on your smartphone or Evernote or whatever you do and start writing them down. My friend, Jana Parkinson, Jenna Parkin. She called me, told me this, and it has stayed with me forever. So I credit her with this. She calls it post-it notes from God. Pay attention. He's posting these notes and telling you. That's what happened with the EMBA. I was not even paying attention. And then I'm talking to this lady out of the blue, and she's telling me what she does. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. And then I get this feeling thought of pay attention. Don't just be nodding your head. Pay attention. So I started listening to what she was talking about. Her and her friend were getting their EMBA. Was totally off in left field. Not what I was thinking of at all. But as soon as I opened to it, what do you think happened? The way was made. I could see how it was prepared for me, and thing after thing after thing. Now I'm smart enough to know the pattern of this. It will not always be that way, because he's just helping me get started so I can get traction, so I can see, oh, evidence is this works. So even when the rumbles come and the obstacles come, I'm not shaken. I'm not moved. That's okay. But just pay attention, open up. And when you pay attention, in fact, there's this great quote that I want to pull out. So good. This is from Wendy Nelson. She says, she was talking about this woman who had felt this little bit of what I call a rumble. She said, congratulate yourself if you're in a similar situation to my friend, looking for more meaning in your life. It may mean that your spirit is restless and knows that you were making me tear up, and knows that you were indeed born to do something different or more than you are presently doing. If you feel a little unsettled these days, the problem may be that you are not yet doing what you were born to do. So consider, we do a lot of things as women that just kind of look like, get up and make the donuts. We're doing carpool, we're going to work, we're solving problems, we're doing church work, we're helping at the PTA, blah, 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 blah. Now, all of those things are important, but if we don't have the right lens, and everything I do is through a purpose-driven lens, and I got to tell you, that shifts everything. Because if we don't do it through a purpose-driven lens, guess what it looks like? Doing carpool, I'm making dinner, I'm da-da-da. Wake up, hit the snooze, and do it again, right? And where's the joy? Sucking down Rice Krispie treats in your secret closet, right? No. This is a purpose-driven lens. It's when you put that over everything. Suddenly you go, there is purpose to my carpool. I'm connecting with my daughter, and I'm asking her questions about things that have been percolating in my soul. And we have now this captive time that I'm utilizing for that. And doing cleaning, I'm teaching my kids how to be stellar adults, and they're going to take over the cleaning like my kids have, which is awesome. So you start seeing things in your life through this purpose-driven lens, and you're able to let go of the things that are not working for you, and you're able to use your voice, and you're open to skill sets and mindsets that you weren't open to before. That's why knowing your purpose is everything. Everything begins with that. Once you know and get started on what that purpose is, you're like a closed up rose that just goes one layer, bloom, and the next layer, bloom, and the next layer, bloom, and bloom, bloom. You've seen those huge, I don't know the name of them, but they're big, huge roses. Huge. They're like ridiculously huge. Looks like they're like been on Miracle Grow, like I said. That's what it's like. You just keep blooming and blooming and blooming. And guess what you're doing the whole time? You're teaching your family how to do the same thing. So many women I talk to, they come to me, they don't know what's up. They're like, I need to get my life back to center. I know I've got a purpose and I don't know how to fulfill it. I've got a message. I need to deliver it. I need to get it out there. I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, they come to me, and one of their biggest concerns is, yes, but I don't want to take away time from my family. Totally been there. Have you been there? Totally been there. I was always like, it was almost like I was making math or something. I'd like get up at 4 a.m. so it wouldn't hurt my family. And I stay up after everyone's bed so it wouldn't hurt my family. And you know what I figured out? To a degree, that is true. I don't want to be hyper-focused on anything that I do that takes the place of my family. I'm family first. But what I realized, I was keeping it back from my family, the very things that I wanted to teach them. How to be brave, how to deal with failure, how to make a plan for success, how to figure out their purpose, how to do coping skills, how to do friendship skills, all of these things. I was making it compartmentalized and parallel train tracks in life. No. We are woven together with our family. And I have seen the beauty of me writing a book and being stressed and not sure how to do it, and then them helping me with ideas, and then me using things that they've experienced in their life in the book and in my articles for Deseret News, and they're like, this is so cool. I do it with permission, or I hide it, and then I say, see, I've hidden it, so it doesn't even show that it's you, and they know that that's them. They love it. They think it's fantastic. They celebrate with me every time I write a book or finish a draft. Why? Because we go out to dinner. No, because they want to support their mother. They're so happy in what I'm doing. But everything I'm doing, I'm teaching them. One daughter that I have, She had anxiety so bad when she was young. She did not want to talk to people. She did not want to talk in church. She didn't want to do anything in school. She really had bad anxiety. I helped her with that by sharing with her what I did with my speaking. And I would bring her, I'd go speak at the library classes, and I'd bring her and she'd come and listen. And then eventually she'd start sitting with me at the table. And then she would sell the books and she'd take the money and she would all over. And then we'd go and deliver stuff like we did. We donated proceeds and stuff this way from what we sold. And so we go and we take it to them and she would be talking and then she'd be helping. Guess what she's doing now? She's serving a mission for our church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. She's in France, and right now she's in Geneva, Switzerland. She's talking to people all over the world. Where do you think she got some of those skill sets? Learning from the things that I was learning in order to fulfill my purpose. So let me promise you, I've seen this over and over and over for 20 years. When a woman up levels in her family, she gives choice to her family. Now they can choose to up level. Now, does that mean everybody follows suit? No, because we all have choice. But men and small children need to see how it works. I'm sorry, they just do. They need to see you be a living, thriving example. I call it the Eve principle. You just have to show them how to do it. And they see you learn relationship skills and how to utilize them. Lady in our program, when she started, I know that Lamaya remembers, she just like this on Zoom and just gray and furrowed brow. And the comments she'd make in the side in the chats were all about, I'll bet it's never going to change. And how do you deal with it if it's never ever going to be the different? And these aren't going to work in my family. It may work for other people. It's not going to work in my family. Guess what? She is the same one that after going through program and principles and learning things, she shifted the dynamics in her family. This older husband, which no offense at all, but they're one of the hardest to shift. And she thought there was no hope. And one day they were having a conversation. She kept practicing these principles. One day they were having a conversation and she was sharing it in a very, I feel, I'll do, I appreciate, I'm willing to, blah, 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 using her coping skills. And he got so mad, he just turned around and left and walked out of the room. And she was standing there thinking, is it ever going to change, right? He comes back. This older husband comes back and says, I'm doing what you were telling me about. I'm doing that thing. I'm sorry. He now is more open to their conversations. And this woman, sorry, she's shifting the dynamics in her family and extended family. She went to a reunion and she shifted how she responded and how other people responded to her. That's what I'm talking about. So when you think, oh, I don't want to take time to define my purpose or do this little free mini challenge or whatever it might be, know that you are shifting things in your family, in yourself, in your coworkers, in the people you connect with, because that's what we as women do. We're shifters. We take the baton that we've been given and we make it better. That's just what we do. So I so invite you. Oh, Sister Nelson's quote. Yes, this Sister Nelson's quote is from a talk for such a time as this. It's from a women's conference at BYU, May 3rd, 2007. And it's called For Such a Time as This. And this talk is powerful. It's so powerful. I use pieces of this talk everywhere I go. I've used it for years. So, so powerful. If you want that boost, that's a great way to get it. I love that, Lamira. I want to eat the entire elephant. Yeah. If you want to just binge watch that whole thing for free, feel free. Anybody have questions who has done the program and you have any questions on that? Sorry, I've been talking. I've been looking for questions over here and I haven't even seen a lot of questions. So maybe you're feeling like, yeah, because you keep talking. So if you have any questions, this is your Q&A to ask. Feel free to ask. What are you struggling with? What's keeping you from defining your purpose? What's keeping you from making a shift? What are the things that you might be struggling with? Again, look at the little chat bubble down at the bottom, on the bottom bar. It has a little bubble that says chat below it. Just click on that and you can type it on the side, or you can just unmute, go over to the microphone. It's got a little red line over it. Just click on the little microphone and you can unmute yourself. And I'd love to hear if you have any questions or any concerns or anything I can help you with to move forward on your purpose. Because seriously, like I said, everything begins with purpose. It's purpose first. When you know who you are and what you're to do, everything starts to align. Does that mean that life is like a basket of daisies skipping through a little house on the prairie scene? No. What it means is that even when tough times come, you are aligned. You are at peace. You are able to stay like a hot knife through butter. You just keep moving forward. I've had some really hard things happen over the last couple of months. And guess what? I am still able to be a hot knife through butter. I'm still able to move forward, staying focused, grabbing this, getting help from that, asking people this, getting the things that I need in order to handle them. And it doesn't mean, oh, wow, look at me, magical me. I'm talking about principles and practices that work, because we know tough times are right now and more tough times are coming. And it is going to be the women. Russell M. Nelson said, if the women of the world, if they are not able to make a difference, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but if the women go down the south path, there will be no recovery for the world. There won't be. And I absolutely echo that. It is the women who keep civilization going. And that starts in our families. And that starts with us. It's not going to shift in our family until it shifts with us, until we are solid and we are sure. And when we are solid and sure about who we are and what we're to do, watch out. Just watch out. Another lady in one of my programs, she was having that same thing where she was like, I feel so solid in my soul that even though there's toxic things that are going on, I just know I have this knowledge of who I am and this confidence. And she is doing amazing things. She's another one that has toxic family environment, but she is shifting and changing, and she's writing a book now. And she's like, and she started off just wanting to get her life with the mastermind program, just getting the 8 life areas tidy and all tidied up, which she did. And she got those principles and practices or that tool belt. That's what we're talking about. But it springboarded her onto something that she never envisioned that she would do. And yet she's doing it. And she is showing day by day with that confidence and that power, inner power, that this is the new norm, people. And this is how we're going to roll. And she's doing it with a smile. And it is shifting her family, shifting her life. So I so invite you, whatever the obstacle is for you to determine what your purpose is, do the free 5-day purpose challenge. Like I said, I've got other programs. If you're like a bite the whole elephant, no, I'm ready for a big jump change, then feel free, check those out. They're on the website, conniesokol.com. So you can check it out there. Check out the different programs. If you have questions, you're welcome to, when I stop the recording, you're welcome to ask questions about them. You're more than welcome to ask anything you want. So feel free. But whatever you do, whether you're a baby stepper or you're an elephant chewer, whatever it is, you just need to take the step. Just take a step. Just figure out in your own soul, oh, I can see this year, 2020, it's going to go. And whether it's 2021 or 2022, whatever year, whenever you're going to be watching this, whatever months you have ahead, they're going to come and they're going to go. And they're going to go like that. I don't know about you. I don't know where the last month went. I don't know where it went. I have to go back through my phone to figure out what I actually did this last month, because I'm like, what, blink. So encourage you to choose whatever step that is that's going to help you move forward. All right, from Ellie, I know my purpose now. Yay! She went through the 5-day purpose challenge. I'm so proud of you. I teach piano, but I'm just a so-so pianist. So my purpose is to become an accomplished pianist, to be the best piano teacher, and to serve when asked to play at church. Love! But I don't know how to start because I've tried to be a better pianist for the last 20 years. Here's a tip. Look around for someone that you look at and say, they are stellar. They are so, so good. I want to do that. The reason why, when you go to the best, you will skip steps. You will make bigger changes faster. I was looking around. I've been speaking for over 20 years, probably closer to 30, but I've been speaking for over 20 years. Okay. I get great responses, just saying from my speaking, but I know I need to up level, right? And I'm doing more talking about women in leadership and professional settings and things like that. So I want to up level. So in order to do that, what do I need to do? So I looked around and I went, Ty Bennett, he is fantastic. I vetted it out and asked everybody else, what did you think about Ty Bennett? Now he does about 100 speaking gigs a year, Dubai, China, France. He goes everywhere and speaks to high level. We're talking Google, all of these high level corporations. So he's my speaking coach. Do you think I'm making leaps and bounds? Oh, yes, because he's got connections. He's got know-how. He's going to be able to tell me, and he has, don't do this, do this. So if you want to become an accomplished pianist, look around and say, who's that upper level? Doesn't have to be like you're going to go, with one of the big names that's back in New York. Doesn't have to be that, but it can be someone in your sphere or someone that you've checked out online that you go, that's someone I know knows what's going on, and they can help me know it faster, quicker, better. I promise you, if you do that, you will see some amazing results, and you'll be more committed because you'll be invested. I've seen this over 20 years. The more invested a woman is, the more she has to invest in time, energy, money, resources, the more bigger results that she gets. Why? Because she has to answer for that. She's got to make it worth her time and energy and money to make that happen. So make it something that you're really like, you're almost like, investing it. And I promise you, I've seen it over and over with women. They will go, "Eek," but then they will get in and they will make it happen like a boss, because they're like, I'm super afraid, but I'm more afraid of wasting my money. So I will get in and do it and make it happen, right? So I so encourage you to do that. Rebecca, I'm stuck on the sorting what I want in the 5-day challenge. Oh, what sorting what you want? That sometimes is a simmer process. I would encourage you, read books like watch the videos from Dr. Joe Dispenza. You can read really good books. I like Darren Hardy's Willpower Doesn't Work. You can go on and get any of my Studio 5 segments. I talk about the same stuff. I have my What's Next book. I'm not like just putting up my own personal stuff. I'm just saying I've got my own What Next book. If you want to get that in an ebook, I think it's only like $3.99 or I don't know, something like $49. I don't know. But anyway, it's What's Next, and that helps you go through a life plan. I've got lots and lots of articles and things like that you can just check out and look and read and get some ideas of what are some things out there that I want to do. What are some things that I would like to do in my life right now, or some things that are core things that I know I need to do, that I know I actually need to do over the course of my life, like a difference that I want to make. So I would encourage you, let it be a simmer process. I also encourage people to do what's called a sticky board. And I teach this in one of my programs. You do a little cardstock kind of placemat thing or something, put it somewhere you're going to see it, get a stack of sticky notes and carry them in your purse, put them around the house. And then when you have an idea or something comes to mind, just write it on that sticky note and then just put it on there. Later, you can kind of sort and sift and you can make patterns and you can see, wow, I have said that I want to teach children how to express feelings through art like 6 times in my sticky notes, whatever it might be. And then you can see what really matters the most to you. So I so encourage you, try doing a little sticky board and start that. That's kind of, I teach people how to do a life plan and a life vision board. That's like a really, really small, short appetizer, beginner way to do that. And then you can start sorting and sifting. So hopefully that helps. Let me know. I'm stuck. I've been trying to find my purpose for 10 years. So many of us are doing that. So true. I thought I found it the last time we worked together, but life hits and I lost it again. That's what happens. We find it, and then, like I said, it gets stuck under backpacks and under boxes of files and blah, 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 gets spaghetti sauce on it, and then we end up throwing it away, or it's so dried up and dusty, or it's on a file on our computer somewhere, and we haven't kept it here. And when we move it from here to here, guess what happens? It gets lost in the day-to-day shuffle of things that seem so important. Have you ever gone through your purse and you found sticky notes of things to do, and you're like, this has nothing to do with my life right now, but it seems super important that day, right? It doesn't mean it wasn't important that day, but it means we should have our life purpose and our life purpose statement in front of us all the time. Because neuroscientists know that if we don't keep it here, forefront in our frontal cortex, it just gets lost in that back Indiana Jones warehouse of thoughts and feelings and ideas. But if we keep it here, we see our life through that lens. That's the first thing that's going to come to mind. That's the thing that we're going to make connections with people we talk to, and things, signs on a billboard, or when we're meeting somebody for the first time, we're like, oh, you do accounting? Guess what? I need an accountant to start this business. Oh my goodness. That's why having your life purpose, your life plan, those things out in front on your vision board are so key. Otherwise, you forget it, or you get off on strange roads. You get off on this thing, and you're wasting time, energy, money, and resources before you even realize that it's not getting you here. There's been a lot of experiences that I've been invited to, or opportunities I've been offered over the years, that I call them the blingies. That it's so blingy, it looks so good, but it's not getting me there. When I had an opportunity to write years ago an anthology that was a no-brainer to make thousands a month with this one group of women, I could not settled about it. And then as one of the New York Times bestselling authors, Jennifer Nielsen, if you've read any of her stuff, she does young adult, middle grade. She's amazing. Anyway, see her books in the Scholar. What's the little book orders you get? Scholar. But what's it called? My brain. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. It's those little book orders. Anyway, she does all of those. Scholastic. That's it. So all of those. Anyway, I asked her and I said, what do you do? And she gave me some fabulous advice. She said, you've got to look at what you're doing as climbing a mountain, and anything that's not getting you to the top of that mountain is not going to help you. It's going to keep you distracted and on all these paths. You do not want to go there. So be clear about your purpose, where you're ultimately going. Family first. I know that I'm helping women learn how to live purpose-driven, organized, and joyful lives, to define their purpose and create successful systems to fulfill it. That's what I do. If something comes in and it looks really fun and wonderful, and there's been a lot of those, then I have to go, is this helping me fulfill it? Or is it bringing me great joy? Now that's a difference. If it's bringing me great joy, then that's something different. But if it's not, out, no matter how good that looks. Gay Hendricks talks about that in The Big Leap. He was asked to do this really cool project, and he was telling his wife, I could do this really cool project for this electronics place. And it was like thousands and thousands of dollars. And she's like, is that really what you want to do? And he went, oh, no. And he turned it down and was able to put his time and energy into, he speaks all over the world with the stuff that he loves and makes millions. So I'm not trying to emphasize the money factor, but I know Stasha particularly, I know that you're a working mom, and I know that that can be a big question for women. If I'm doing something that's an extra from family, well, should I need it to bring in money, or should I not bring in money, or how do I do that? And how do I do it so that if I am doing it for money, I still keep family first and I don't get off on a strange road? So I know it's a concern, and especially in this day and age. So something to consider. I love this. Anything else? Thank you. I think I needed to hear that. It's okay that I can take time to let this simmer. Absolutely. I would just encourage you to put it out where you can see it, so that that simmering happens all day long. Even when you pass it, if it's in the bathroom or if it's in your bedroom, when you do that, it will subconsciously remind you of it. Hi, cute Wendy Jones. It will subconsciously remind you of it as you pass it by, because your mind already knows what's on there. So it will just be a refresher, be a refresher. I encourage you, before you go to bed at night and when you wake up in the morning, I encourage you to read, look at, watch whatever you have that's your life paragraph. We do a life paragraph and a life plan. Even if it's just your purpose statement, whatever that is, look at it morning and night. And if you can recite it to yourself throughout the day, then do that. I do a little exercise where I write. I have the key 8 life areas that I teach women. So how to do your life plan, your sacred spaces, holy habits, daily joy, your fit and fabulous, organize your time and space and thoughts, and balance in motherhood, healthy relationships, and financial peace and prosperity. Sorry, my brain is so foggy today as I'm talking about being totally focused. Totally focused. My little guy has been sleeping in my bed, and I'm just saying, as a mom, I'm old and I can't navigate that like these two. Anyway, but what I do is before I go to bed and when I wake up first thing in the morning, I have a statement, a meditation, an affirmation statement for each one of those 8 life areas. So I go through and I write those down on a little notebook that I keep just for that. And I do it in the morning and night so whatever I can do. So I just want you to know it's staying right here and it makes a difference. So define that purpose, figure it out, create that life plan, create that life paragraph, and then do what you're doing with it every day. I just did a Studio 5 segment that talks about it. You're welcome to check it out. It's on my website, ConnieSokol.com, or it's on my social media. It's called Are You Stuck in the Dabbling Zone? I meet a lot of women who go to this conference and attend that class and do that workshop, and then they're still stuck back at the same place they started because they're not getting traction. And there's some reasons for that. So I would so encourage you to check that out. But what I talked about in there was meditation movies. I also create meditation movies in my mind. Like, for example, there was a specific speaking assignment I wanted to do. I wanted to have this kind of audience, and I wanted to talk about this particular topic, and I wanted to have a certain kind of engagement level and just have it be fantastic in a certain way. And I did a meditation movie on it. And I just recently did that keynote, and it was exactly that. It was fantastic. Now, I'm not saying it's not juju, like, oh, if you imagine it, then it will happen right now. What I'm saying is I believe in divine help, and I know that as I move forward and am anxiously engaged in a good cause, I know that I can ask for and claim divine blessings to make that happen because I partner with God. And if it's important to me, it's important to him. And if it's important to him to have it happen, then I can do the work to make it happen and he'll help me. So I so invite you to do this process. All right. Is the purpose statement what you're supposed to get from sorting what you want? Yes. So as you sort through, you're going to be able to funnel down what you want in your life right now. Now, I encourage you, like what we teach is to kind of take that long view and have something that's more of that solid. I have a purpose statement that hasn't shifted a whole lot over the years because it's just real core stuff. But purpose statement for like the next 3 months, I know what I'm focused on for the next 3 months. I know there's certain projects that I'm focused on. And so I am a resonating writer. I am an engaging speaker. I am whatever. You can do that to define your purpose statement. So I love that. Visualization is a wonderful practice. Absolutely. Stasha, my dad raised us on Wayne Dyer. Love seeing his growth through his books. Love it. And I love that. Another book I liked was Real Magic by Wayne Dyer, who talks about finding the purpose and living life to focus on that. Exactly right. Again, I'm talking about that purpose-driven lens. When you do everything through that purpose-driven lens, life shifts for the good. because everything just, you see it. It's that Dieter F. Uchtdorf, by a few degrees. Everything shifts just that few degrees, but that means everything. That makes all the difference. And it can be just that little. There's a guy in my neighborhood that he's going to serve a church mission, and he was just talking about it. And he had gotten into an accident at a scout camp a year ago. And he thought he was invincible, and they were jumping off this cliff diving thing, and everyone told him not to do it, but he did it. And it was like, I think it was 3 feet of water or something. It was like unbelievable. He's alive. And that's what they told him when he went to the hospital. They said, you were less than a millimeter from being dead. So did that less than a millimeter matter? Absolutely. So every shift we make to become more purpose-driven, more purpose-focused in our lives, it makes a difference. And you'll see it by the opportunities that come and the feeling and the joy that you have. You'll see that happen, and that shift will take place. It'll be nuanced at first, and then you'll be able to string them together and go, oh my goodness, it works. Like, this works. That's exactly what happens. All right, ladies, I know we are over time, and I have loved the thoughts and the comments that you have put on the side. It makes me so happy. Ellie, we are so excited for you. Check back with us. We want to hear about it. In fact, if you want to go on a Zoom and play something for us later, I would love that. But we want to help you move forward. As always, if you want more juicy stuff, I still encourage you to go on social media. Go to ConnieSokol.com. I got tons of juicy stuff there. Great free downloads, segments, podcasts, all kinds of stuff. You can go on my social media, Connie Sokol or Balance Redefined. Same thing for the podcast. It's Balance Redefined Radio. Go on there, you can get tons of great stuff that's just like this that can keep you motivated and keep you moving forward. Okay? All right, any other questions before we wrap it up? Thank you for joining us today. I'm so tickled that you could be here. Thanks for making time, because I know it's hard, especially during the middle of the day. Love you, ladies. If you have any questions, as always, you're welcome, Taryn. As always, email Connie at Connie Sokol or hello at ConnieSokol.com, which is probably the better one, hello at ConnieSokol.com. Check that out. Or if you want to talk more about it specifically for your situation, you can schedule a discovery call. And Lamira can put the link in the chat there too. But you can schedule a discovery call. I can give you 15 to 30 minutes, and we can go through your life and just kind of define a little bit more and see where you're having problems and how we can help you move forward so you're not stuck, so you can get moving forward for you and your family. It's really a powerful thing. I've seen it for over 20 years, and the changes that women have made are so inspiring. All changes from all walks of life, all the way from go-getters who were like way using up all their energy on the wrong things, not realizing it, and were able to get centered, all the way to, we have a gal who is in a care center, literally dealing with some serious illnesses, couldn't even get out of bed, and she did our program, and she is writing essays now. Essays, humorous essays. Oh my gosh, I cannot even, I'm so happy with the differences that have been made in women. And whatever steps you choose to do, just take a step. Whatever you do from here, ladies, just take a step, move forward, and check with us. We can help you make it happen. I really do feel strongly, make this your year, the year to redefine your balance, to really say, I'm going to live a purpose-driven life. Make it this year, and it will change all the other years ahead. All right? I love you. Stay connected. Thank you, ladies.